I'm Clair Mellenthin, and I'm so excited to be joining you live on this beautiful snowy spring day for me. Mother Nature hasn't quite gotten the memo yet in Utah, but I'm so thrilled to be co-hosting the second annual Play Therapy Summit with Pessy this year. The lineup is just amazing. And, last year was our first experience with it, and the presenters and the turnout, just was so incredible. And this year, we're coming back even better than before, if you can believe it, because it's hard to top what we've already done. But I'm so excited to be co-hosting this with my friend and colleague, Jackie Flynn. And I'm going to be moderating day one. And we have got some amazing people speaking on day one. We have Dora Henderson bringing in polyvagal theory. We have Dan Siegel coming and talking about the power of neurobiology and play. Paris Goodyear-Brown is going to be there. The list just goes on and on and on. And we have got some phenomenal workshops lined up. I think really this year we have something for everybody. And, if you need help, like, how do I bring in some more creativity into my play therapy practice? We've got Lego play, we have digital play therapy, we have, just amazing things. And I'm so excited to be coming in and bringing in talking about how we do guided imagery and expressive arts and play therapy. And I'm so excited to be facilitating this with my dear friend, Tammi van Hollander. I love bringing in expressive therapies into my play therapy work. And I found over the years, being a play therapist for a little over 2 decades now, you learn a few things along the way. And I really, really love bringing in guided imagery, talking about and helping my clients from, 3 to 103. But my little ones, especially those who have been exposed to trauma, who have major anxiety, who have a tough time just regulating and being present in their body, I found that when we can bring in guided imagery, it's amazing how we can help them connect to themselves and learn how to regulate and co-regulate together. And when they can be present in their mind, be present in their body, it's amazing how this has this trickle-out effect. And, one of the approaches in play therapy that I've really been inspired with and love to bring in is the Oaklander approach of utilizing and integrating then into the guided imagery some type of expressive experience for the child and their caregivers, so that they have a tangible take-home representation of what their guided imagery process looked like in their mind, what it felt like in their bodies, and then tools that they have that we teach along the way of how can they go back into these creative safe spaces internally when they're not in the playroom. Because I think that that's one of the things that is so important, that we help our young clients really learn in how to center in and get grounded inside. And when we can bring a playful imagery to the process, it can make it into just a fun way of learning how to do this. I had an experience just this last week of doing some guided imagery with one of my little ones that, because of their own life experiences, this idea of safety in the playroom is kind of a challenging experience for them. And, and so moving from, and in the workshop, we're going to be talking about this of, moving in and developing little bit by little bit by little bit, this idea of how to be connected to self and others so that we can build in a safe place. And for some of our little ones and not so little ones, we know that that is kind of a foreign experience, or maybe they haven't had an experience with an adult where they've experienced a moment of safety. This is a brand new thing. And, So teaching some strategies of beginning with open-eyed guided imagery in really fun, playful ways. This, begins to kind of set the stage of how do we do this where I can feel protected and I can also feel connected, because that's the key piece of developing relationship anyways, and a sense of trust in the relationship. And so as you can move from doing these open-eye guided imageries into learning how to do full body relaxation. Again, eyes can be open, eyes can be closed, whatever the client needs. And gradually moving into a place where there's enough trust in the therapeutic space that they can really move into that full relaxation, that full imagery experience. They can have enough, support and safety where they may feel comfortable finally to be able to close their eyes. And for some of our clients, we know that, that may not ever really be something that they can do. And so teaching some other strategies then of how can you relax, deepen that experience, learn how to let your mind wander and go as they're moving along the fantasy with you. I think that this is something that can be such a powerful addition to your play therapy work and your therapy work in general. I mean, those of you who are new to play therapy or who are, coming to the summit, and this is kind of like your first taste of like, what is this weird thing that these therapists are doing over there? Like, their work seems like it's a lot more fun than what I'm doing in talk therapy. These are tools and strategies that you can use across the lifespan and all the different ages and stages of the clients that we work with. So one of the things I found as well is that guided imagery is so powerful over telehealth and doing digital play therapy. All of us in the last few years, when we had to make that leap into this unknown frontier in mental health of using online work, during the pandemic, this is something, especially with my elementary school age kids, that I found to be so incredibly helpful. And it was something that we could do through the webcam together. And one of the interventions and the scripts I'm going to be sharing at the Play Therapy Summit is, one of the ones I developed during COVID and during lockdown. And along with my clients, I also had a little bit of anxiety during that time as we were managing and trying to hold space for so many people, let alone our own personal world and life that was going on. And learning how to manage that anxiety and use the power of guided imagery to help decrease it and find a sense of calm, a sense of peace. And we would create our worry-free worlds and really dive into like the 5 senses of the imagery with it, noticing what it smelled like, what it tasted like, the sensations in our body, was it hot or cold, an inside place, an outside place, all of those things of really honing in a full body experiential. And then using expressive arts. And, back then, and what I find now actually is most easy, accessible, and easy to use is what's around you that you can bring into this. And so some of my little ones wanted to bring pieces of nature, and they still do. We'll go on a nature walk and collect things that speak to them, that they want to bring into their creative process after the guided imagery. And what I love to do then is, following that, we will create the images that they came up with in their mind, using all types of expressive arts. So some kids really like to paint. Some kids like to collage. Some kids like to engage in sand tray. Some kids want to create a tangible thing. My little one, during COVID, she imagined that as part of her guided imagery, she had a backpack that could help her float up to her place that she needed to go to. She said it was a marshmallow land. And it was soft and playful and colorful. And there was unicorns and all sorts of wonderful, beautiful things in this imagery that she created. And so we created a backpack using a cereal box, 2 paper towel rods, and the different, like, just pieces of arts and scrap material that they had on hand at home, and a little bit of string. And it was the most meaningful thing I think that she did in play therapy, because she could keep her backpack as that reminder that she had the tools to go to her calm, peaceful place, or her worry-free place is what we were doing that day. And she could go there now whenever she was feeling overwhelmed and too stressed or too scared. And she now had a tool to help calm her body, regulate her breathing, and go to this magical place that she had created just for a minute. And then she could come back and face her world again. And I think like these are the things that we can start bringing into our work, where especially I think when kids can have that take home, a tangible take home symbolic representation of the power of their imagination, it's amazing what that can bring. And for this little one, when things started escalating again, she could have that reminder in front of her, like, oh yeah, I know what I can do. I can take my backpack and I can go to my worry-free place. Like, right. Okay, let's do that together. Right. And she could start leading that herself as she learned those tools and those strategies. And so I'm so excited. I love talking about expressive therapies and guided imagery and play therapy. It is one of my favorite tools to bring into the playroom. And I'm so excited to be, exploring this with my friend Tammi van Hollander in the Play Therapy Summit this year. And I hope you will join me there. It's going to be so fun. Once you see the lineup for this year, oh my gosh, you are going to just be so excited to jump in. And all the information, details, registration links, all of that is on the banner, as you can see right now. But if you go to pesi.com and click on the Play Therapy Summit 23, it will take you right where you need to go. And, this is just a quick peek at one of the many things that we're going to be learning in this summit. So I am so thrilled. I can't wait to be there, to learn from my colleagues, to moderate some of the days, to come and present to you. And I can't wait to see your faces, and I hope that we'll see you soon. So if you have any questions, comments, be sure to leave them in the chat box, and I hope to see you in May. I can't wait.